What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. Get this. Eddie Hearn responds to the claims that the fight was rigged, and surprisingly, this is what Eddie had to say. He said, when people like casual fans say, "Do you think it was scripted?" I don't at all. It's ridiculous. And I don't think you could ask Mike to do that either. Those are the words of Eddie Hearn. And he also said this, okay? He said, Mike tried. I have to give Mike credit. And actually, I'll be honest, when the fight was over, I did think to myself, it's pretty cool for Tyson to do it for that, for his kids to see him do that. He's gone through a hard training camp, done 8 rounds, fair play to him. I didn't enjoy watching it, if I'm honest. I quite enjoyed the first 30 seconds when he was having a right go, but it was a spectacle. It was never going to be a fight of the century. I said my piece before. I wasn't a massive fan of it, but look what it created. You've got to acknowledge the commercial reality as well. And those are the rest of the words that Eddie Hearn had to say. And let me counterpunch. Well, for one, credit to Eddie, he did not want that fight to happen. He was like, he's too old. That's not cool. I don't want to see it. He said that before. Before. That's a very, very important word, before. So, you know, credit to him. He didn't want to see it, you know, and it's not because he wouldn't be behind it anyway. But as far as the scripted part went, I think there's enough evidence to argue definitely that it was scripted. You know what I mean? Maybe not the way it's going, but I don't think it was meant for Jake Paul to lose. Because I think being younger is the commercial target, okay? You're the overall selected person just by youth. You know, boxing is a young person's sport. Since Jake Paul being a YouTube celebrity, okay, and doing what he's done with his life overall, and he's done it a lot, made a lot of this money by boxing, him and Logan, you have to look at the reality of people calling him out. Why do you think so many boxers are calling out Jake Paul? It's not because they want to beat him up. They know they can beat him up. The whole thing is he generates so much revenue. You'd be a fool, okay, for other prize fighters not to partake. So if Mike Tyson, and I felt that way too, and I'll get to that. If Mike Tyson went once or wanted to go for the bag, he got the bag. He just had to do certain things, you know, because I don't believe, okay? I don't believe. And I'm not a casual fan. I'm hardcore. I don't believe that Mike gave his best effort. I just don't. I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I just don't. I don't think he tried and went out on his shield. There's more behind Mike than that. There's more behind Mike than that. I do also believe that he was injured going into that fight. Don't matter. He wasn't supposed to win anyway. So those are the type of things I'm talking about. Now, I will say this about Eddie's claim and Eddie's statement on that. You couldn't ask Mike Tyson to do that either, right? I believe that. I thought, nah, Mike ain't going to do it. Mike don't need the money. Mike don't need the money. He ain't going for no bribes or no scripts. He's going to go off and bite your head off. Well, sometimes you can get older, and sometimes that viciousness, despite what you want to do mentally, you also have that other mind. Hey, I'm not going to be around here forever. I got a shitload of kids. I'm going to take care of them. That's what he meant. I'm going to take care of them. I'm not going to sit here and be all about me and knock this boy out or whatever, you know what I mean? And because it may be, you ain't seen the contract. It might have been, hey, you beat me, you dropped me, you ain't going to get paid. You might get paid a third of what you asked and a third, what is it? Now, what's a third of $20 million? Do the math, right? So, you know, and then taxes, okay, that's another 50%. So this is what I'm saying, okay? Mike started thinking about his family. So he had to play ball to get that bag to make sure everything went the way it's supposed to go. That's scripted. But again, I believed like Eddie believed that, you know what, he can't and he won't be able to do that. You know what I mean? He won't do that. That's Mike Tyson you're talking about. He's an icon, a legend. You think he's going to fall for that? It reminds me of one of my favorite movies with Chiwetel Ejiofor. It's called Red Belt. Okay. And Red Belt was about an honorable sensei that tried to do everything by the art of Budo. Just do the right thing. Be a earnest warrior. Don't compete because that lowers the fighter and all these things. He was hardcore. And then when he found out his wife's brother was fighting and some stuff was going to happen, he had to go. And the rest, guess what? You're going to have to watch. But it was a real good movie. And in that way, I think that's how I thought. I was like, no, I thought Mike was going to do that. But now looking at certain things and what he could have did and he didn't, pulling punches and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. Paul pulled those punches because he knew he had an obligation too. Think about it. If it was scripted, that meant Mike had to have some say in it. Think about it. If Mike was scripted, and it was some WWE stuff, right? It's an exhibition, not really a boxing match. He had to say so like, look, I can't go down. I'm going to stand on my feet. It ain't going to be like Lennox Lewis and Holyfield and, you know what I mean? And McBride and all those guys. It ain't going to be like that. You know what I mean? I could hear Mike. No, you're not going to knock Jake. You're not going to knock me down. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. You listen to Jake. I'm a warrior, right? No, Mike, I won't. And then he pulled punches because of that, because he knew at some point if Tyson wasn't going in and he wasn't engaging like he was more than likely paid to do or paid not to do, right? There you go. He had to pull punches himself because he had to follow the script too. It was 2 scripts, one play, 2 scripts, 2 characters. So there you go. But yeah, I was thinking the same way Eddie is. So now I'm kind of, I'm more to this part that it was more likely scripted. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn and his comments about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, possibly scripted, fake. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.